Good morning. Welcome to the 18th day of May, 2019 on the Good Life Meditation. Got something wrangling on my brain that I'm trying to use a little bit of temperance to maintain. More on that in just a minute. Let's do the meditation. First objective is to be always ready to die. Second objective is good and effective use of time. Third objective is the development and maintenance of good and sound life principles. Fourth is the good emotional reactions. Fifth is performing good actions. Sixth, the recognition of true limits and true opportunity. And 7 is to do one thing slowly. 20 principles. First principle, the principle of war. Second principle, the principle of reason, with the sub-principles of honesty and objectivity. Third principle of the homunculus, the little mortal who lives in my head. Fourth principle, the home of good and evil, being tended and maintained by and developed by the homunculus. Number 5, the principle of purpose, biology and virtue. 6, the atomic principle. Everything's made of bits and pieces. So too you and I. 7, the principle of nature. Everything has some particular nature, including you and I. Principle 8, maturity, consisting of wisdom and fortitude. 9, the social principle. 10, the principle of public speaking. Speaking is though the people I'm talking about are right here with me. 11, the feast of all the waste and byproduct of undisciplined, unprincipled living. Number 12, the temperance, suffering, simplicity, and apathy are the sub-principles. Next is the principle of the agency and the great indifference. We're all agents. It's not alive and is not an agent, and constitutes part of the great indifference, the universe not given a damn. Next is the best seat in the house. To not want to be anyone else, be anywhere else, or be doing anything else, but to be okay with who I am, what I'm doing, and where I am at this moment, all the while striving to make things better. Next is the path of wildness, a way to get unstuck. Next is the risk of avoiding risk, the deep level and surface level risks of life. Next is the principle of sin and damnation. There are 5 sins in my worldview: falsity, credulity, faith, superstition, and dogma. The consequence of indulging in any of these sins is we live a damned life, damnation through believing things that are not true. That's a pretty damnable state. Next is complete oblivion, no final reunion, no final reconciliation, and no final justice. Next is the principle of the great life adventure, followed by the principle of the season of philosophy. And then finally, the principle of arena and utility. All of this is an arena to develop and execute our objectives and principles, to make them better, to live a good life. So the thing I'm wrestling with is that I think there was a mistake on my paycheck for the driving school, which I'm off to do right now. I was a little taken aback by it. It was very small. That's simply because I took 2 days off, and that combined with the fact that it's just complicated, but the way my schedule worked, so effectively it reflected 1 day of salary. And you know how there's always lots of stuff that takes off, taxes and Social Security and all these things. So it made a pretty small paycheck, which wasn't such a big deal when I remembered that I had taken those days off. coupled with the other thing, made it basically a one-day paycheck, reflecting 1 day in 2 weeks. Remember, it's a part-time job. But then I remembered all of a sudden, yeah, the gas card wasn't working in the driving school card, and I used my own credit card to pay for it, and I don't think that was reflected in it. And you know how you have this anxiety of injustice, you know, oh my gosh, and I've been wronged. I've got to take care of that right away. And I said, wait a minute, Kurt, hold on. And I exercised a little bit of temperance. Tempering my emotions. I was quick to get out the text message and text the boss and some message. And, you know, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's only like $17. But still, that it's the injustice of it all. But I did. I exercised a little temperance and said, okay, Kurt, don't do it right now. Just take a little time and, you know, take care of it later. Go do your job. I'm on my way to do the driving school job right now. Go do your job and then take care of it later. Let the emotion pass, as silly an emotion as it is. It's for such a small thing. But again, it's not the amount. It's the injustice of it all. So I'm exercising a little temperance, and I'm also going to exercise some reason and objectivity. I'm going to try to step back and think about it. Look up the amount of that gas receipt, think about it, and then compose a very carefully worded message. Because often when I do this type of response, I'm often found to be in the wrong later. And I've learned my lesson. Hey, there's the principle of maturity right there. You know, having the wisdom, if I may call it such, to remember my mistakes. Mistake being that in the past, when I've flown off the handle on this type of stuff, I've often been shown to be wrong. So if I better couch my words carefully, couch my message in carefully chosen words, so as not to have a lot to feel bad about if it turns out that I'm wrong. And so that's my little thing. So that's what I'm going to do. And the other thing was, you know, I'm a little upset that I have to waste the time doing that. Time is so precious to me. But I could choose not to. And oh yeah, it is the nature of the world for these types of mistakes to happen. That is the principle of nature. And I have to ask myself, is it a good use of time, or should I just let it go and eat the $17 to use that 15 minutes it would take to pose the question? Less than that. Well, 15 with the research. Yeah, that is a good use of time. Yeah, I will do that. And for the sake of justice as well. Justice! The injustice! Backfire. Okay, that's it. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.